morning students. In the previous video we had seen about your operational principles of your WDM techniques and the WDM standards. Now in this video we will be seeing about Mach-Zehnder interferometer multiplexers. So a wavelength division multiplexer can use your Mach-Zehnder interferometer multiplexer also there. So here this multiplexer can be either an active multiplexer or it can be a passive multiplexer there. So basically a 2 cross 2 Mach-Zehnder interferometer is going to consist of 3 stages, where the first stage is going to be a 3 dB directional coupler, where the function of the directional coupler is to split the input signals. So here in this case, and then in the second case we are going to have an central section which is going to have 2 wavelengths, where one wavelength is going to be separated, where one wavelength is going to be longer by a value of del L, so that this wavelength is going to have a phase shift there between the two arms there, and another 3 dB coupler which is going to recombine the signals at the output. So the three stages are a 3 dB coupler which is going to split the input signal, and the split input signal is going to be sent through the phase shifter, where one signal is going to have a different phase shift compared with the other wavelength, and it is going to the wavelength is going to be longer by a value of del L, and we are going to have these two signals are going to be combined at the output side by using a 3 dB combiner, and this signal is going to be got at the output of your interferometer, that is your multiplexer there. So when it is going to be got at the output side, one output will have constructive phase and the other output will have a destructive phase. So in this case the output will be present only at one port here, and the other port will have a 0 value there. So two input signals with different wavelengths are going to be sent through this multiplexer there. So here the function is going to be, by the first 3 dB coupler it is going to be splitting the input beam, second is introducing a phase shift in one of the parts, and third one is to recombine the signals, where by recombining it is going to interfere constructively at one output and it is going to be destructively at the other. So as a result we are going to get the output at only one port there, one output port. So here the propagation matrix of this M coupler for a couple of length D is going to be given as your M coupler is equivalent to cos KD, where K is the propagation factor, D is the distance in the 3 dB coupler there. So cos KD J sin KD cos KD is going to be the matrix, that is your propagation matrix of length D there. So where K is going to be the coupling coefficient. So here in this case, when I am going to consider a 3 dB coupler which is going to divide the power equally, then 2 KD is going to be equivalent to pi by 2. That means my KD value is going to be pi by 4. So if I substitute cos pi by 4 is nothing but 1. So here sin pi by 4 is also 1. So I will be having 1 by root 2. So 1 by root 2 means my M coupler value is going to be, the matrix is going to be 1 by root 2 into 1 J1, where this matrix is nothing but a scattering matrix. That is the first stage output. I am going to get a scattering matrix of this value there. So in the central region, the output from the two guides are going to have a phase difference, the del phi. So where the phase difference del phi is, one wavelength is going to be longer by a value of del L. So I can write that length of that wavelength to be L plus del L. So I can write the phase difference to be K1 into L minus K2 into L plus del L. So here in this K we know what is the value of K is 2 pi n1 by lambda. So substitute K1 is equivalent to 2 pi n1 by lambda into L, minus K2 is nothing but 2 pi n2 by lambda into L plus del L. So now when I am going to subtract it, we will be getting the value to be minus 2 pi n2 del L by lambda. So the phase difference, it can arise from either a different path length, because one is going to be of more length compared to the other, or it can be through a refractive index difference. Because of the refractive index difference or because of the different path length, this phase difference arises there. So here in this case we are going to take both the arms, we are going to assume that both the arms are going to have the same refractive index. That means N1 is equivalent to N2 is equivalent to N effective. So I can write my del phi is equivalent to K into del L, where K is 2 pi N effective by lambda. So for a given phase difference, the propagation matrix can be written as, for the phase shifter, as exponential jk del L by 2. So sine term it will be 0, because if it is pi by 2 it is going to be 0 there. Sorry, here it is, if it is 0 it is going to be here 0, then 0 exponential minus jk del L by 2. So here the optical output fields E out of 1 and E out of 2 from the two central arms are going to be related to the input fields by this equation. That is, E out of 1, E out of 2 is equivalent to M into E in of 1 and E in of 2, where I can write M is equivalent to this matrix is equivalent to, the propagation matrix can be written as M coupler for the first one, 3 dB coupler, then phase change is going to be, phase difference is going to be given as M del phi, then M coupler there. So if I multiply all this, the final parameter what I will be getting is J into sine K del L by 2, cos K del L by 2, cos K del L by 2, and minus sine K del L by 2. So here the inputs to your Mach-Zehnder interferometer are going to be at different wavelengths. So for E in 1 it is going to have a wavelength of lambda 1, and E in 2 it is going to have a wavelength of lambda 2. So the output fields are going to be E out of 1 and E out of 2, or it is going to be the sum of the contribution from the two input fields. So sum of the contribution is E out of 1 is going to be a constructive one. So constructive one means it is going to be added up. So added up means it is going to be J of E in of 1 lambda sine K1 del L by 2 plus E in of 2 lambda cos K2 del L by 2. So here E out of 2 is nothing but the difference, that is destructive interference. So it can be written as J into E in of lambda cos K1 del L by 2 minus E in of 2 lambda 2 sin K2 del L by 2, where Kj is nothing but 2 pi N effective by lambda J. So the output powers which are going to be found from the light intensity is going to be the square of the field strength there. So here in this case the output powers is going to be calculated as square of the field powers. So square of the field strengths. So here in this case it is E out of 1 into E conjugate out of 1. So calculate the power. So if it is calculated, it is going to be sin square K1 del L by 2 into P in of 1 plus cos square K2 del L by 2 P in of 2. Similarly, P out of 2 is equivalent to E out of 2 into E conjugate out of 2. So it is cos square K1 del L by 2 into P in of 1 plus sin square K2 del L by 2 P in of 2, where P in of I generalized I can write it as your square of your field strengths there, input field strengths. So here in this case the cross terms are going to be dropped, because the twice the optical carrier frequency is going to be beyond the response capability of the photodetector. That is, a photodetector cannot detect twice the optical carrier frequency. So in that term the cross terms are going to be dropped, and only the primary term, primary frequency, that is the single carrier frequency terms are alone going to be left out there. It is going to be allowed. So here in this case, if I want all the power from both the inputs to leave the same output port, means I can write it as K1 del L by 2 is equivalent to pi, and K2 del L by 2 is equivalent to pi by 2, or K1 minus K2 into del L is equivalent to 2 pi N effective into 1 by lambda 1 minus 1 by lambda 2 into del, that is equivalent to pi. So where the length difference in the interferometer arm should be del L is equivalent to 2 N effective into 1 by lambda 1 minus 1 by lambda 2 the whole inverse, or we can write it as C by 2 N effective del V, where del V is nothing but the frequency separation of the two wavelengths. So now we will take an example. Assume that the input wavelengths of a 2x2 silicon Mach-Zehnder interferometer are separated by 10 gigahertz. Del lambda is equal to 0.08 nanometers at 1550 nanometers. So with N effective, that is your refractive index, is going to be 1.5 in silicon waveguide. The wavelength difference, waveguide length difference must be del L is equivalent to C by 2 into your N effective, this formula. So their del L is going to be C. C is 3 into 10 power 8 meters per second by 2 into N effective is 1.5. Del L is 1010 per second. That is for 10 gigahertz, it is going to be around 1010 gigabits per second there. So in this case, if the frequency separation is going to be 130 hertz, then del L value, if I am going to calculate again, for 130 gigahertz, your delta lambda is going to be 1 nanometer. In that case, the del L value is going to be 0.77 millimeters there. Substitute in this formula, again you will be getting the value to be 0.77 millimeters. Next is, we are going to see the 4x4 multiplexer. So 4x4 multiplexer means 4 inputs, 4 outputs there. So in this case, the inputs to Mach-Zehnder interferometer 1 or MZI1 are going to be V and V plus 2 del V, where we are going to call it as, in terms of lambda, it is lambda 1 and lambda 3. And the inputs to MZI2 is going to be V plus del V and V plus 3 del V, which are going to be in terms of wavelength lambda 2 and lambda 4. So since the signals in both the interferometers of the first stage are going to be separated by 2 del V, that is, if I separate, the distance is going to be here 2 del V, the path difference is going to satisfy this condition. Del L1 is equal to del L2 is equal to C by 2N effective into 2 del V there. So in the next stage, the inputs are going to be separated by del V. So del L3 can be written as C by 2N effective into del V, that is 2 into del L1. So this formula, if I write, it is going to be 2 into del L1. So when these conditions are satisfied, all the 4 input powers will emerge from port C. So here this is the condition for the path differences there. So here we are going to have, basically when I am going to have 4 inputs, I am going to use 2 cross 2 cross 2 MZIs, where any size n cross n multiplexer can be designed with n value to be 2 power n can be constructed there. Suppose each module is going to have a different Li, that is your phase differences del Li, the path differences del Li, then in order to have all the wavelengths to exit at the same port. So you can have the same differences, phase differences or path differences, or we can have different path differences there. So here we have, these are the 2 wavelengths which is going to be given as input for the first Mach-Zehnder interferometer, and it is going to have the spacing. This is going to separate, the first 3 dB coupler is going to separate the 2 signals, and these 2 signals are going to be separated by a path difference of del L1, and it is going to have a phase shift there. And similarly at the receiver side, if I am going to see, here I am going to have 2 outputs, that is, these 2 signals are going to be combined in this 3 dB coupler, and one output is going to have a destructive output and the other one is going to have a constructive output. So constructive output means these 2 wavelengths will be combined. So we will be having an output of lambda 1 and lambda 2. And next is, for the next Mach-Zehnder interferometer, I am going to have 2 wavelengths, these 2 are the signals, and here the signals are going to be split, where one signal is going to have a phase, path difference of del L2, and the output, again I am going to have the combination of these 2 signals at the next 3 dB coupler, and the output signals is, one is the constructive one and the other one is going to be a destructive one. So in a constructive one, it is going to be a lambda 1 and lambda 2. So here in this case, if I see, this is lambda 1 and lambda 3 means here it is going to be lambda 1 and lambda 3. This is lambda 2 and lambda 4 means here it is lambda 2 and lambda 4. So now all these signals are going to be given to your Mach-Zehnder interferometer 3. So at the output side, where the signals are going to be split, and one signal is going to have a path difference of del L3 there. And these 2 signals are going to be combined, and one side it is going to have a 0, that is, it is a destructive output, and the other side we are going to have a combined output. So combined output means it is the lambda 1, lambda 2, lambda 3, lambda 4 output. I am going to get at the output of your port C. So here we are going to have, for an n to 1 Mach-Zehnder interferometer multiplexer, where your n value is going to be 2 power n, where n is going to be greater than 1, the number of multiplexer stages is going to be defined by the small n value, and the number of Mach-Zehnder interferometers in stage J is going to be 2 power n minus j. So the path difference in an interferometer element of stage J is del L stage J is equal to C by 2 power n minus j, n effective into del V. So here the n to 1 Mach-Zehnder interferometer multiplexer can be used as a 1 to n demultiplexer by the reversing the light propagation direction. Thank you.